We start this morning with some new developments. A soldier accused of opening fire at Fort Stewart is now planning to plead guilty to multiple violent charges. Sergeant Cornelius Radford is changing his plea in the case to guilty on 2 counts of attempted premeditated murder, 1 count of domestic violence, 1 count of aggravated assault with a dangerous weapon, and 2 counts of aggravated assault causing serious bodily injury. Now, the charges stem from a shooting at Fort Stewart last August that left multiple people injured. Radford has also changed his trial request, asking for his case to be decided by a military judge alone instead of a panel of enlisted members. A hearing to determine whether the judge will accept Radford's guilty plea is scheduled for March 31st and April 1st at the courtroom in Fort Stewart. Radford is entering the plea without a negotiated deal with prosecutors, and if the plea is accepted, he could face a potential life sentence. WSAV has learned the victim in the deadly shooting at Old Dominion University in Norfolk has strong ties to our area. The man killed has been identified as Brandon Shaw, an Army Lieutenant Colonel at the ROTC instructor at the university who had previously served as director of the 3rd Combat Aviation Brigade at Hunter Army Airfield. And he also earned his Master's of Business Administration from the University of Georgia in 2018. The Army aviator deployed multiple times to Iraq and Afghanistan and was awarded 2 Bronze Stars. Investigators say 36-year-old Mohammed Jallo opened fire inside an ROTC classroom just before 11 a.m., killing Shaw and injuring 2 other U.S. Army personnel. Authorities say he was subdued by other students and died in the process. The FBI is now investigating the case as an act of terrorism. He has been at the top of the law enforcement in Beaufort County for nearly 28 years. And now, in a story you'll only see here on WSAV, Sheriff P.J. Tanner says he's ready to step away.
But if I do 4 more years, then at the end of that term, I'll be 71. At some point, enough's enough. You have to walk away.
Sheriff Tanner sat down exclusively with WSAV to talk about his career and why he's decided the time is right. Tanner started as a deputy in 1981 before winning the sheriff's race in 1998. During his tenure, Tanner oversaw major changes, including a new salary structure and technology upgrades. Tanner admits not everyone agreed with his style, but he believes his work speaks for itself.
I enjoy getting up and coming to work, every day like I did 46 years ago. That hasn't changed. The challenges have changed, but the desire to do the job hasn't. But at some point, I need to make the decision when I walk away. I've seen sheriffs in South Carolina that I've been friends with for a long, long time that stayed too long and died in office and never had a chance, to be retired. They never wanted to retire. That's not me.
Tanner made his decision just 3 days before the filing period for this election cycle opened. Tanner plans to endorse a successor, but will wait until all candidates have officially filed. Savannah's biggest celebration is just days away, St. Patrick's Day. Thousands of visitors are expected to flood the hostess city, and local restaurants and businesses are getting ready for the rush. WSAV's Isabella Baez sat down on River Street to speak with business owners about how they're preparing for the holiday.
All hands on deck.
Lee Tremmel, food and beverage director of Broken Keel and Bootleggers, says they have been preparing for St. Patrick's Day for the past few months, bringing in extra staff to help with the crowds and even adding extra security.
We brought in, actually the River Street Inn Hotel has helped us. They're actually providing additional security for us. They're actually bringing in armed guards. They are off-duty police officers that will be here that are going to help protect our guests, our patrons, and staff. We will have lines actually beginning at our steps. We've limited our menu. We want everybody to have a fun time here, but we do want everybody to be safe.
People travel from all over to spend St. Patrick's Day in the hostess city, but Tremmel says something he loves to see is the locals enjoying the city they call home and enjoying a pint of the fan favorite green beer.
Everybody loves the green beers. We actually inject our kegs with a gel dye that goes in there, and so we'll be serving green draft beer from now until after St. Patrick's Day.
Now, Savannah's St. Patrick's Day celebration may last just one day, but preparing for it takes months of planning and hundreds of workers behind the scenes. City leaders gave WSAV a closer look at just how much goes into hosting one of the largest Irish celebrations in the country. Officials say keeping Savannah safe and clean requires coordination across dozens of departments and agencies. City officials say the scale of the event is enormous. Last year alone, city crews collected more than 231 tons of trash. To manage crowds and to keep the city running smoothly, more than 280 police officers will be working the parade, along with dozens of firefighters. Sanitation crews will also be in full force, with nearly 150 solid waste workers helping clean the streets before, during, and after. The city will also install hundreds of water barricades to help block vehicles from restricted areas along the parade route.
Last year, we removed over 231 tons of trash. That's the equivalent of 15 million solo cups, 2,300 crowd control barricades. That works out to about 3.4 miles of crowd control barricades.
Now, officials say the efforts, such as collecting the equivalent of 15 million cups and staffing the city with 280 law officers working the parade, shows just how much coordination it takes to safely host an event that brings hundreds and thousands of people to Savannah. The city says you can help by planning ahead and using designated trash and recycling bins throughout the weekend. And if you're looking to prepare for parking options close to downtown, for Tuesday's parade, spots are available at the Savannah Convention Center. Parking is open on St. Patrick's Day from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. for $25. It is first come, first served, and no overnight parking is permitted. Or if you want to avoid the trouble of looking for parking in garages and side streets, then shuttles to downtown will also be available for the parade. You can reserve your spot right now on parkwiz.com. Chatham Area Transit will have some changes on St. Patrick's Day. From 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. rides will be free on fixed bus routes and paratransit. Now, paratransit and Cat Connect will run normal services, but buses will follow a modified schedule. The ferry will only stop at the Convention Center and the Waving Girl landings, and the DOT shuttle will not run that day. AAA's Tow to Go is back for St. Patrick's Day from 6 p.m. Monday through 6 a.m. Wednesday. The service offers free rides home for you and your car if you've been drinking and don't have a safe way to get home. Just call 855-2TOW-TO-GO for help. For full maps and updates, as well as full list of events happening across our area and more, visit WSAV.com/St. Pat's.